What's going on, YouTube? I am Adam Davis, and I am the average snake keeper. I know it's been a little while since I put something out, and I know I said I wasn't going to probably until springtime. What are you doing? What are you doing? He's always so much fun to have. He's probably my favorite snake to handle because you've got to keep an eye on what he's doing. Anyway, I said I probably wouldn't be making any more content until springtime or possibly even later, but basically until my living situation kind of improved a little bit and I could get a better shooting setup and ideally, hopefully, get a couple more animals to show you guys. But I wanted to talk today. Woo! About the state of the hobby. What, buddy? He's being a little pissy. I'm going to let him settle for a second here. I'm just talk to you guys in general. Check out my sweet Dan Magano shirt. I'm actually going to be linking Dan's channel and one of his videos here that I'm going to basically be directly talking to you guys about. I've talked to you guys before about when I was talking about getting into my Sumatran short-tailed pythons. Dan's channel is awesome if you're into short tails. It's also awesome if you're just into reptile keeping, snakes, and stuff like that. He's got a lot of videos where he meets with some other keepers and stuff like that, where they see some really crazy collections and see stuff other than just blood pythons and short-tailed pythons and stuff like that. Plus, he's got a few things too in his own collection that he shows off that are pretty cool, like African rocks and stuff like that. Anyway, highly recommend his stuff. But today he put out, what are you doing, dude? This guy. Buddy. Today he put out a video regarding a lot of new legislation going on that involves banning, a lot of times import of exotic animals, sometimes owning exotic animals, specifically reptiles. If you've been paying attention in South Carolina, they're looking to straight up just have like a ban on tegus, which are, that's a wide variety of lizards to keep, but specifically I like Argentine tegus. I don't obviously have any, but everything that I've ever seen from them, they are some of the like chillest lizards that you can keep. As far as like having a big lizard goes, they are like super tame. They're like having a dog in lizard form. And now we have in Illinois, where the Tinley Park Reptile Expo is, they're basically, the law itself is pretty much banning something like expos. You have to look it up in person, but the law goes on to state something like you cannot, I think, transport and import animals that are not native to the state and then to be like displaying and shown to people and something like that. So basically describing an expo. And Tinley's got to be like the premier reptile expo in the country. So for them to kind of be putting forth this legislation is, they know what they're doing. You know, they know what they have and they know what they're doing. And this stuff is popping up everywhere. And so I implore you guys, if you want to continue to keep these animals, if you want to continue to secure the future of the hobby, if you like, you know, things like even just ball pythons or boas, like, you know, I'm not too into keeping too many snakes or too many wild things. I'm not looking to get hots or anything like that. But I've been there. I've had large collections of invertebrates, and in general, you know, it starts with small bands before they become sweeping bands. Please check out USARK's website. That is the United States Association of Reptile Keepers, I believe. I'm on their $5 a month plan. It doesn't cost, so like I'm cheap and lazy. It doesn't cost much to help support them, and they are the ones who are trying their best to keep everybody updated and notified of whenever legislation like this is passing or being brought up. They are the ones who are really helping to put together opposition to all of these proposed bans and laws and things like that. And with all this stuff popping up right now, like, we should be supporting an organization like that. And it really doesn't, like I said, it doesn't cost much. You can support them for $5 a month. You can support them for $20 a year. You can support them for $40 a year. You can support them for $250 a year. You can support them for $500 or $1,000 a year. Depends what you want to get out of it and how much you want to give. But right now, anything is better than nothing. I know, buddy. I brought you out, and now you're excited and curious. I love him so much. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Anyway, I am linking, Dan's video, because he goes into it with a little bit better detail on exactly what all the proposed bans are. But other than that, please visit their website, USARK. And the idea is just, we really, if we're passionate about animals like this, and the idea behind me even, making this channel is I'm trying to share this love that I have, this passion that I have with other people. I'm trying to get people to understand why the hell I keep a snake, multiple snakes in the first place, because people don't get it, like I said, I found myself in a precarious situation where, I'm kind of keeping these guys on the down low. I waited until our nosy neighbor left to even shoot this video because I don't want to get ratted out and, evicted, and all of a sudden, some news article comes up, local man has 6-foot boa, and, all of us, I'm losing my train of thought just because of how angry I'm getting at how this stuff gets embellished and how these poor creatures, this little guy right here even, and he's my most mischievous snake, and this is the worst he gets, or that time he peed on me because I just had him out and messing with him for too long. People just don't understand, and we're trying our hardest to help people understand that, these are animals that we enjoy taking care of, and that they bring us the same kind of, happiness and fulfillment that taking care of and, rescuing a dog or cat does to other people. My snakes help me with my anxiety. They help me with just kind of helping give me a sense of purpose and direction in my own life. When I was at my absolute lowest, the fact that I've had these little lives to take care of, that they depend on me, was always something that pushed me through. To some other people, they think, oh, it's just a gross, slimy snake. Well, one, they're not slimy. Two, he's not that gross when he's not pooping. But, this animal brings me just so much happiness and so much joy. And all I'm trying to do with something like even this little YouTube channel or my Instagram is to just share that with people. And we now all of a sudden have politicians stepping in who are uneducated, who would never do something like watch these videos, would never do something like visit the groups that we're in and learn a damn thing about them, who've probably never held one, who've probably never seen one outside of, the zoo or a horror movie, and all of a sudden now are deciding to make these, sweeping bans on owning or importing or exporting or whatever on these animals for us. And it's outrageous. If you have a hobby or a love or a passion that others kind of find a little weird or kind of taboo, the biggest thing that I can relate this to is I got a lot of friends who are into shooting and collecting guns. It's the same kind of shit. It's constantly under threat and under attack, and it's going to always be put into light in a way that does not represent the community that surrounds it. Instead, will only ever represent, the the extreme, and they'll use those cases to heighten fear. Like that time, I think it was last year or the year before, I believe there was a woman who decided to handle it was a reticulated python or a Burmese python by herself, and she like went into somebody's snake room that she had access to and took out a huge python, put it around her neck, and the thing strangled her. You know, not constricting her like it was going to eat her, just literally squeezing her so that it didn't fall off of her and killed her. And of course, this guy pushed this story constantly, and I'm getting tagged in it all the time. People, this is why you shouldn't keep these things. Like, no, this is why you should responsibly understand how to keep an animal that large. Like, that's, you know, the same reason why you don't, you know, let the German Shepherd sleep with your baby at night. Like, because if it accidentally rolls over and pokes it in the eye, you know, you have an animal that mauls a child. Like, it's the same kind of thing. It's an accident that came out of neglect and misunderstanding. It's just the kind of shit that goes right up my ass. And I'm sorry, I really try not to be too obscene in these videos. I know, you know, a lot of kids and stuff are searching for stuff on snakes, but this stuff is just, it means so much to me. And to all of a sudden see, you know, my parents live in South Carolina. That was a spot that, you know, I'd been looking at one point in time, you know, maybe moving to and stuff like that. But I look at, you know, all of a sudden them banning things down there, and I go, no, now that's definitely out of the, that's not a retirement destination for me. I'm out here in Rhode Island, and I'm staying here for some time. Just, it is how life is. But, you know, I'm looking at all these spots where there's all these proposed bans, and you're like, man, none of these spots are going to be good to go now, you know? Something I think like New York even is trying not to have certain animals like shipped over state lines and things like that. And, you know, I just got one of my Sumatran shorttails from New York. And that's ridiculous because I can drive to New York. You know, I could go drive to New York and pick an animal up. It's a 3 to 4 hour drive, but like, what difference does it make? I don't know. Anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna put this curious boy back because he's just in super get into trouble mode now. But yeah, I am linking Dan's video in the description, and I implore you to check that out because he had a much better put together script than I did. I literally watched his video, looked at a bunch of this stuff, and said, I gotta say something. And one of the best ways that I can say something and share his information is by making an upload for myself here. So, all right, guys, peace out. Once again, I am Adam Davis. I am the average snake keeper. This is Shao Kahn. Say bye, buddy.